to go off, so I said it.
Is
whether
it
it's whether it's true or not, that's up to you to find out.
That's just mean, bro. Why would you say something like that?
Because I knew it would bother you.
Fuck you. When I thought you were gonna come out with something else too, like, oh, you know they're coming out with this guy in Hot Toys. You shouldn't have bought the
They just announced Guido.
Yeah, right. Say his name right. You call him
Guido.
Guido.
Wait, did they say Guido or Greedo?
Me Guido. No, it's
Guido.
Guido.
It's Guido to me. He's Guido.
He said Guido.
He does look like a little Guido.
Does he
But just imagine.
Does he come with an IROC Z?
He's not
Yes,
Italian.
he does. He has the gold chain with the cross. He's fist pumping.
I mean,
Hey, yo.
I mean, I did binge The Sopranos a couple months ago, you know. So
Where the cabs? The cabs are here.
Yeah, Dom knows the lines. See, he's undercover. He's an undercover Jersey Shore addict,
He
right?
grew up with them. He knows all about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually meeting up with my college friends come July.
oh, that's not even a true story.
No, it is a true story. Why would it not be a true story? Jesus, Gary, you want to see the texts?
What toy
Your
show are
friends
you
from
guys
college?
going to?
Come on.
Yeah, dude, a bunch of North Jersey guineas.
He said pics or it didn't happen.
I'll send pics for you, Gary. Okay. You
We
want
ain't go nowhere in July. We got like 4 cons in July, bro.
No, we don't.
I know.
Stop lying.
Every weekend this month is fucking crazy, bro. We already got through that first one. you know?
5 Point Festival.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck.
Wah, 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 wah. Where
I'm
the,
on fire.
where the hipsters get crazy, yo. Drinking their high amped coffee and the chicken waffles that suck.
They did suck.
And their hairy armpit girlfriends.
Woo-hoo!
Oh, you tried the chicken and waffles? I saw the stand out there.
We tried the
Ha-
shitty ass chicken and waffles.
I want to know where
Roscoe's.
Harry armpit girls associate with chicken and waffles.
At Brooklyn.
At 5 Point Festival.
That's
At Brooklyn.
They have the best hairy underarm chicks in the world. You didn't know that? Right off the boat, JD. Right off the boat.
sure. It's gross.
Wasn't Fleet Week's recent?
You
was
would
like-
know, right? You were looking for a sailor to boom?
Yeah, Dave, I was. How did you guess?
I don't know.
Sweetheart. Want to bring one back to mom and show him how good he could take care of me?
It's only now we're getting the good weather, so
I don't think Dom knows we're live right now.
he has.
Oh, fuck,
He
we're
has-
live?
He has to know. He has to.
Holy shit. Who's pushing that button?
Oh no! Oh no! All right, what's up, everybody? Oh look, Brian said he was going to be late. He wasn't really that late.
I have a reason for that.
It's all good.
What you use, like a Mach 3?
Well, I guess I do, but she certainly didn't last weekend.
Thanks. That sets that up, man. I'm like fucking passing.
Set
that.
him
You
up.
set him up, Dom, I'll knock it down.
There you go.
Fucking
There
have
you-
some beers.
Yeah, that's what you should have been doing last night, man. I felt like I was the one that was all hyped up for last night. 200th episode. I got twisted. I was feeling good.
Something's evenly divisible by 5. People think it's special. I don't know.
It's just a number, right? It's just a number. Oh, all right, guys. What's up? Welcome to episode 73 of Breaking the Mold. I'm Harrick and BX. Let's say what's up to the crew. I heard an echo. Dave, what's up, dude?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday.
You got the sexy voice
What's up,
on?
man?
I had an interesting weekend. It was quite Friday. I had a few of the realm at the Casa
Casa de Energon.
Casa de Energon. So I had Brian and Dom spending the night so they could make the festival the next day. Chris came by, and then Eric came too. Eric trained it, EE Prime, and we ate pizza, talked shit, and hung out in the backyard until it was too late for us to hang out anymore, and we all knew we had to get up the next day. But it was fun. I thought we had a good time. It was very chill, lax, just talking shit, make yourself at home type shit. Get your own drink. I'm not serving you no more type thing. Saturday we wound up at that 5 Point Festival. I won't give up all that right now, but that was fucking quite interesting. I mean, it really wasn't my thing, but I'm glad I went.
All right.
And it's true. Dave's like, yeah, man, go find something to drink. And like, I'm coming outside with like beer, and he's like, where'd you find that? I'm like, in the door. He's like, oh, nowhere to look. Door of the fridge at Dave's house. If you ever go, that's where the good stuff is.
All right. He knew. What's up, Brink? What's happening?
What's up, guys? I made it on time.
Yeah, you did.
Happy anniversary, shit like that. Or that was last night. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, wrong show.
How are you guys doing? Yeah. I spent $1,200 on my car today.
Oof.
Yeah. So I think it was my first major maintenance since I've owned this car, because I got it new 9 years ago. So Gary,
Brake pads and rotors.
yeah.
By the way, that's the wrong answer.
What is?
You spent $1,200 on your car.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I think it was really good because that thing runs great. I don't know, something with the suspension, the bushings he said were torn, and he told me this in December. I'm like, I got toys to buy. I can't fucking spend $1,200 on my car. And
That's the right answer.
yeah. So this past month was a 3 paycheck month. I was like, all right, let's get my bushings fixed. And fucking thing runs like brand new. It's like, sweet.
Dude,
And I think it enabled
Listen,
me, Gary, it enabled me to take those corners a bit faster to get through those red lights. Get here
I'm
on
proud
time.
of you. Yeah, no, I'm proud of you. Listen, it's always better to make a repair or two than to take on a monthly commitment for a payment, right? So
That's right.
better off in the long run.
That's right. I just need you to gauge for me at what point. See, now that my car's older, like my old car, I kept forking money into it because I loved it so much. I loved that car. It was my best friend. It was my buddy. We would go everywhere together.
What was his name?
My buddy.
His name was,
Name for it?
his name was Truck. It wasn't nothing too
Trucky. Just truck.
Hey,
Yeah.
truck.
It
And,
wasn't Prime on the Lolo.
Let's
Yeah,
go, Trucky.
it knew where everything was. Like I didn't really have to drive anywhere. It just knew.
Now you're bullshitting.
And yeah, so
That's okay, Brian. I'll bring something good for you to ToyCon in a couple weeks when we go to that show and see if I can help you upgrade.
I
What are you gonna give him? Fuzzy dice?
Gary, I only do import, Gary. So just keep that in mind.
Oh man, that's funny. Maybe you get a nice little commission too off that, right?
Oh no, just it's the fan bro price, right?
There
That's
you
all.
go,
Nice.
fan bro. There you go. That's what you want to hear. Oh man, so Brian, you can notice the difference, like from what they did to your car, like compared to how it ran.
So I mean, I didn't really believe him at first because I'm like, all right, yeah. So my suspension's a little loose, and it doesn't corner as well, doesn't handle as well. But it turns out it's an all-wheel drive car. And these bushings, I guess, are constantly being worked. And he said, you're going to notice it when you accelerate, when you brake, and stuff like that. And I was like, holy shit. I guess I should trust this guy. I mean, I've been seeing this guy forever. But, sometimes you just don't trust people.
There we go. He
You
just
should-
came out of the closet.
You should,
Yeah.
should pop the question, Brian.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Mike. He treats me
Why
right.
haven't we met him yet?
It's not about you all the time.
We are
Sometimes
family.
you gotta get down on them knees sometimes.
So anyway, yeah, it's
Smile like
great.
donuts.
It's great. I have a renewed vigor for driving, and I realized also that my what do you call it? Registration expired 2 months ago. So so here I was like, now I really want to drive fast. And
Yeah,
it's like,
running
I don't
from the
need a
law.
reason. I don't need a reason to be pulled over, but whatever.
Why you don't stop?
Yeah. I might now down in my wise old age. But
You should. It's a lot to lose.
I forgot I told that story.
Wild Bill.
It's coming back to haunt you. Big Dom, what's up, dude?
What's going on, guys? Had a good week. We've been, we had no show last week, so Memorial Day weekend, I just went to a beach house in Connecticut, which was lovely, with my family, my wife's family.
Connecticut.
Yes, Connecticut.
Wait, when was this?
Memorial Day weekend,
Memorial Day.
which
Okay.
was 2 weekends ago.
Why? Oh, that's right. We didn't have a show last week. That's
Yep.
right.
That's why I did not go to JD. Sorry, JD, that I missed your party. It looked
It's
good.
cool. Brian made it. He drove
Yeah.
7 hours.
And I drove all the way from Maine, Dom. That's more than Connecticut.
Next time when you're having a party, announce it 2 weeks beforehand, and maybe we can work something out.
Dom, you gotta fly by the seat of your pants. Dom.
Ample notice.
I got pretty much my summer is booking up already.
Oh,
Who's flying over?
Somebody's driving.
That's the 645 from Philly that comes in here to Albany every night. I'm so freaking close. I can see the numbers on the bottom of the plane when it comes in. Man.
That
It's
fucking
ridiculous.
plane better have some Philly cheesesteaks, yo.
Dude, I gotta move.
Fucking pretzels
I gotta
or something.
move.
$10.99.
When-
Dude, I
when
gotta
you
get
guys-
out of here.
When you guys get the Philly cheesesteaks, do you do the cheese whiz?
Mm,
You ever heard of that?
Yeah. I don't care. Just fucking just
You don't
steak
do
and
the whiz?
cheese and anything. It's
Well,
fine.
All right. Just curious.
I'm not picking on my cheesesteak, dude.
All right. If you go to Pat's, do you know how to order?
No,
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't know how to order Pats.
It's quick. It's quick and easy.
No
Don't pick
Pats
it up
for
when
you.
Get there.
And then I went to the 5 Points Festival of Lights
that's right.
this past weekend, and with some of my boys. Where were you, JD? Why didn't you come?
He was working.
Work on Saturday.
So I think
Yeah.
Dave has to rank his the house guests that he's had from the panel, and who's the best house guest
Think
when
carefully.
they stay with you.
Think
Yes, it-
carefully.
Think carefully.
Mm.
Yeah, think
Yeah,
carefully.
think
Dave.
about who your family likes the most.
Hmm.
Who your family
Wow,
likes?
he's-
Well, I'll just say
put
Because
it
my
on the
dog was
spot.
barking at Brian quite often.
Yeah,
this
dude,
weekend.
he couldn't get enough. He
Dude,
thought
that
Brian.
that dog just wanted cuddles. Just want cuddles from Brink. And
That's
that
all he
can't,
wants. He
can't blame her.
just wants love. She just wants love.
Dave's like, will you just pet this damn dog, please? Get her to shut up. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I'm gonna plead the fifth, but I will say, Gary, that you are a very easy guest, easier than most.
Yeah, because he's out of there in the break of dawn.
Dude, I don't even see him when he leaves. It's like not.
It's like,
no
was
trace
Gary
of
here?
him.
I don't know.
The only reason I knew he was gone was this fucking Anakin in my fucking Vesta before I my detour or something before he left. That was the only reason.
I like to try and be like that faceless guy from Game of Thrones, right? One that like can talk that way.
I think Gary sneaks out like around like 2:00 in the morning. He doesn't even spend the whole night at the house and probably winds up like at a 5-star hotel or something like the rest of the night.
He's got the hookup.
Gary,
It's all
I,
about
do,
the hotel lobby party.
I do have to agree with you, Gary. I think the last time you mentioned staying at Dave's, you had mentioned the plush and softness of his carpet in his collector room. And
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, so Dave let me sleep up there by the Detolf light as a night light, which I couldn't figure out how to turn off.
You left that shit on all night?
No, I didn't. But the
Oh,
reason,
Runs on
No, I'm
Runs
gonna
on
finish
batteries.
this. No, you're right. You couldn't figure out. I gave him the remote, and he stayed by Chris's before. I said, "You familiar with one of these?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." I'm like, "All right." Mind you, I forgot he's been drinking beer since like 7:00 at night, and it's like 12:30 a.m. or 1:00 in the morning. And then, like next day, he's like, "Dave, I couldn't figure it out. I just unplugged everything."
well, that's not exactly true, but I do want to say that I took my shoes off before I went to bed, and your carpet was so soft. I was like, I gotta walk on this some more. And so I walked around, reviewed your whole collection. And Dave, you have an enormous amount of those Tamashii stands. I don't know, do you buy them in bulk or wherever, but you got so many of those things. And I fixed your Optimus Prime trailer. You didn't have the little things pulled out, and I adjusted a few little poses here and there, but your carpet was fantastic, and I just couldn't stop walking on it. It was just so great.
That's funny because he told me, why is all my Transformers giving me the finger?
That is definitely something I would not do.
I think that's the best part about when people come is like they sometimes grab your stuff and put it somewhere in a position you might not have thought of, and like you find it like weeks later. Like I have a fucking Chris was here one time. He decided to put Snoke like all leaned up like this on his throne.
Yep.
I've left him there since. He looks better like that than he does just sitting there regularly.
It's funny that you say that because when I saw that, I was like, I bet Chris did that.
Yep.
No. But anyway, I'm walking around your room with this remote, and the only thing that's turning off are the detolfs. And I'm like, I'm pointing it at your curio cabinet. I'm like, shut off. I'm like pushing all the buttons, and I'm pushing it on your Billy shelves. And I finally found light switches and whatnot, but I couldn't figure out how to unplug those, how to turn those Bestas off.
That's what I was gonna get at, because my curio, right, the next day I'm pressing it and it's plugged in. It's plugged in. I'm like, what the fuck? It doesn't work. And the funny thing is, when I first got it up here, we had to replace the bulbs because they didn't work. So I'm thinking, oh no, this thing's gonna be crap out of me again. And then I clicked. And I was like, wait, Brian said he couldn't figure shit out. So let me see if he fucking that has like a switch on the actual cord.
Yep.
And you click that, right? You click that one off. Oh man, I was like, oh my god, this guy's gonna fucking. I thought I was gonna have to replace the bulbs again. I think
little mini heart attack and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I got everything except for the Bestas. I had to unplug those. I couldn't figure them out. And it's that one remote. You got two remotes up there. I was like, let me try
this remote, right? On, off, on,
right.
off.
Oh, the ones on the bottoms are on and off too? I thought those were volume switches or something.
If you can hear light, tell me what
You need to clap her, bro. You just gotta be,
Hey, wait. I did clap once. I was like, fuck.
Maybe if you were in Ace's house, he could do that. You just tell Alexa, lights off. Alexa, lights on.
Yeah.
Illuminate.
Oh, I didn't try that. I should have tried that.
De-illuminate.
It would have worked for you, Brian. I don't have that set up yet, bro.
I'm screaming at the top of my lungs.
All you need is the dot, right? The echo, the dot, whatever that shit is called, and you could network all that to do all that shit for you. That's kind of crazy. But then, she's listening all the time. But our phones are doing
other things.
Yeah. Our phones are doing that anyway. So, all right, G Money, what's up, dude?
Dude, I also had an interesting weekend. Not as much fun as what you guys are describing, but had a lot of work. Memorial Day weekend, worked on Saturday, and the month of June is when my company, as an organization, we do a lot of for giving committees for charities and events, and the company doubles the contribution. So if there's a cash grant or you donate labor, we double it. So we try to do a lot of events for the month of June, then kind of take a break for the summer so associates can have, some time off. But we did a walk for the American Heart Foundation at the University of Albany on Sunday morning. And then we went back to the Albany Food Bank Sunday afternoon. And I kid you not, we spent 2 hours packing and unpacking fish sticks, which I swear I can't make it up.
It's fish sticks or fish sticks?
Fish sticks, frozen like you'd feed, right?
So,
it was essentially
Such a classic
pallets
episode.
of frozen fish sticks.
So Gary, were they Mrs. Paul's or Gordon's?
They were some other commercial brand.
Oh.
And we basically, they come in big boxes, and you unpack them and repackage them in portion sizes that can be, sent out to organizations and families and stuff like that. So it was a good thing to do, but it was very interesting. 2 hours of pallets and pallets of fish sticks. So
Pretty much like chopped up fish heads and fish
But yeah.
tails.
no, I mean it's just breaded, frozen. It looked like frozen mozzarella sticks, really. But 2 hours of that, it was kind of at first. We had two teams going, and it was kind of a competition. After an hour in of like box after box after box. So,
Like, who gives a fuck?
dude, if you've ever seen Mrs. Doubtfire, have you guys seen that movie?
Mhm.
Right.
Hello.
When he's like packing the films at the end, and he's like, after you box them, you ship them. that's pretty much what it felt like. It was just
So what do you do after you box them?
yeah, exactly.
Ship 'em.
You ship 'em. So that was it. That was good. It's a good thing. It was gonna go to a good cause. It was just an interesting endeavor. So
I'm so happy that you bought your ticket to heaven. That's nice.
exactly, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, well, it's a
Whatever
good
it takes to help out.
Yeah, despite the monotony of it, it's a good deed. People are benefiting.
Yeah. It's actually, I joke about what the activity was, but we do, a lot of different things. We do toy drives for like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and we did an event at Boys and Girls Club. So it really is a good thing that the company does. And, I'm happy to put the events together for the associates. It does make it turn into one long work week though, because you work with people all week long, and the one day that we're actually closed, you do an event with associates, and like I said, it's a good cause and stuff, but then you're like right back to work the next day. So
Yeah. Cuts into exactly what would have been your free time on the weekend. So
yeah, exactly.
So you see these people all week. Sometimes you just don't want to be seeing them.
Well, exactly right. That's the thing. It's like, listen, I appreciate how hard they work, and but sometimes it's good to have a bit of a break from it and get right back into it again. So, but it's
Gary,
okay.
Gary,
It's good cause.
do you do a lot of charity walks? I do a few a year, and I just make sure to put my sunglasses on and look at all the yoga pants.
Well,
Seems everyone's wearing yoga pants at those walks.
athletic gear. It's like
Brian shows up in the charity walk. Brian shows up in a bicycle.
it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if that's
That's cheating. He gets through it faster, so he can get to the end of the line where there's all the snacks and beer.
no, that's not true.
Crazy. All right, JD, what's up, dude?
What's up, my peoples?
How you feeling? How's the nap?
What's up, my peoples?
Pretty good. Yeah, I was almost late.
Slept good. Slept good. Got a nice little power nap. Now?
Yeah, and why when I show up late, I get so much shit, and these two guys show up
Because
like
I don't
last
do it
minute.
every show.
I didn't do it every show, dude. I don't do it every show. I don't do it every show. I'm sorry to make it about me, JD, but you guys interrupted me when I was telling me about my weekend, so go fuck yourselves. Go, JD. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Did he get stuck? Oh, he might have gotten stuck.
You see what you did, Dom? You ruined it for him.
I ruined his
Oh, there he
internet.
goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Fucking
There we
feed that
go.
hamster, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It keeps cutting in and out. Anyway, yeah, it's been a minute for all of us.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah,
Every
had a
other
little-
Tuesday. Every other Tuesday.
breaking the banging.
Breaking the bang,
Like-
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
breaking the schedule.
Breaking the schedule. There we go. Yeah, had a little cookout on Memorial Day, and had some folks over. Had a good time.
Dude, how's the new puppy? How's the new dog?
She's pretty awesome. We still can't figure out what to call her because she does not respond to her name. So
Got to keep
But-
at it.
yeah, we're trying to figure it out. We've been kind of calling her Bubbles. Yep,
Bubbles.
but
Welcome to the stage, Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Wasn't that the name of Michael Jackson's chimp in the 80s?
Maybe
His pet chimpanzee.
she was
right?
laying
Not
on the
created.
kitchen floor, like blowing, like half passed out, and she was blowing bubbles out the side of her mouth. I'm like, Bubbles.
Was that,
And
was that your dog, or was that Dom on Memorial Day?
Dom didn't make it. Remember?
Oh,
That's
Uh-huh. But
So we should have a name JD and Chan's dog contest. I say Lady Sif, as we call her.
Lady Stiff,
Sif, like
Sif.
like
the
the Thor's.
Thor.
Yeah,
Oh.
One of Thor's stablemates there.
Uh-huh.
stable.
Huh.
I like
I don't
that.
know.
No. Anybody else got any names? Dom, what do you got? Dom's on mute. Gary,
JD was like, "Nah, I'm not feeling that. No, I'm not."
Yeah, he's
My is she? It's a girl or a boy?
Girl.
I would call her. My old dog used to be called Sabrina, so that's what we used to call her.
You're so original. You got to go with the fucking dog you used to have and say that's the name of you.
I love that name. I love Sabrina.
Sabrina too.
Should be
And
syllable.
yet, Brian, you are correct. The chimpanzee's name was Bubbles.
That wasn't me.
that was me.
Oh, sorry.
Dom just refuses
Y'all-
to
y'all
acknowledge
wait.
Gary.
I
being-
know, right?
You're
Exactly.
You white people all look the same.
It's convenient when he
Christ,
doesn't want to be white, right? And when he does,
Yeah, see how that works?
yep.
When you're olive complexion, you can just flip flop. Flip flop. Flip flop. I could be white one day. I could be Puerto Rican. You want me to be Puerto Rican? I could be Puerto Rican.
JD, can you send us a picture of the dog?
I can.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So you can get the game. So we can get a kind
Yeah, I
of feel.
didn't even know you had a dog. I don't even think.
How about
Yeah, it
since
was-
she looks like
so-
a tiger, right? She almost looks like a tiger.
Right. I'm glad you guys listened to ETR.
I do.
God,
I listen to it. She has stripes,
Oh, yeah.
right? Tiger stripes, almost. Or leopard.
Kind of.
I'm trying to
she's-
help you out, JD. I'm just trying to.
She's part lab and part boxer, so she has like the coloring of a boxer. I just put it in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a last minute thing. So it was like, she talked to the woman Saturday and was like, "You have to come get her tomorrow," because she was planning on waiting till after the holiday and then going and meeting the dog.
She's pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's pretty.
She's very, very skinny.
She has sad
this-
eyes.
Yeah, well, this woman was starving her to death.
Oh.
The same woman you picked her up from?
Yeah.
You still have her address?
Yeah,
Alright,
she's
cool.
got her name and her address and all
You
that
save about a
Let's
month's.
take a trip to
dog
JD's, but
shit.
let's pass that bitch's house
This
first.
dog-
Yeah,
JD,
really.
I can be there in an hour and a half.
Yep.
You save all her turds that she does for the next month, and you slam that shit right up on our door.
Damn it. That is a brilliant idea.
And
That's
then
what you
lights
do,
it
buddy.
on Fire.
Nah, just take it, wet it a little bit, and just blah, just slam it.
I mean, it's got to be like wheelbarrows full.
Yeah, like a big bag, like a big brown, like one of those like leaf bags that they leave you to put your leaves in at this edge of the curb. Yeah, take those leaf
No,
bags.
Like, it's got to be a pile in front of her front door.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So she opens that door, steps in it, slips, and
Oh,
falls in it.
she's gonna love it.
Yeah, remember that dog? That dog fucking hates you.
I've been feeding it well.
It's funny though, because like, so the lady tried to give Chan the bed that she was sleeping on. It looked like a dog had fucking died on it, from what I understand. She had a pen, like a crate. She was like, "No, we don't need the crate. We don't do crates." So it's like this lady's trying to pretty much offload the trash to her, and like after knowing what the situation was there at that house, you know what I mean? She's like, "No, we're not getting. We don't need the pen." The dog had one toy, some ratty ass toy. The lady gave her a blanket to bring home so she can, quote unquote, adjust. Chan bought her new bed, put the blanket on her bed. She would not lay on that bed with that blanket on it. Chan picked it up, put it in the trash, and the dog went right over and laid on the bed.
Oh.
She wanted nothing to do with this former owner. So But she's so good. She's so well behaved. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
how's she with the other doggies?
It was a little kind of, it was a little bit for them to get used to. The Bostons, because they're brother and sister, they can be a little aggressive. So one of them's like, "Arr!" And then the other one's "Arr!" Kind of elevates from there, and it's like Tasmanian devils, like trying to, But yeah, they've all adjusted, and now they'll go out in the yard and they run together and play and chase each other. And New Dog was using Maisie as a pillow last night. Maisie didn't know, but it was pretty funny.
That's good.
JD, would you like to show people your dog?
Sure.
I kind of already
I
did.
can-
Oh, look at you. Yeah, you get.
I can
gonna
screen share.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy.
Dave, do it right, Dave.
All right, gee whiz.
Jesus
Trying to
Christ.
keep-
Pretty dog.
She barks at stuff now, so she's kind of getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Here you go, everybody.
Oh,
Oh.
Call it
How could
Tigra.
how could you not love fucking a dog that looks like that? Like, look at that.
Dustin is Thunder Pussy. No, that name is out. Just because you want Thunder Pussy, the dog is not Thunder. Jesus Christ! Ridiculous.
What a name. That's
I'm gonna
great.
call you Thunder Pussy, Dust.
Wasn't that the name of that Hulk Hogan character in Rocky 3?
Thunder Lips.
Thunder
Thunder
Lips. Jesus.
Lips, pussy, whatever.
I think you're getting
It's
those inverted somehow.
It's a big difference, Brian. It's a big difference.
Yeah. Other than that,
Yeah,
just been adjusting with her and getting her comfortable, and then I don't know. This weekend we just kind of hung around.
Chilled out, lazy weekend.
Yeah, played some video games and Played with some
Video
toys.
games.
Those are the best ones, dude. Just
Yeah.
when you chill and relax. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
relaxing and enjoying the house because we were working pretty hard. Her mostly, but
Her mostly.
Way to speak up there,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, dude, I appreciate weekends like that the most because, like, with the work week, how hectic like that could be. Like, I just look forward to the lazy weekend at home where you could just catch up with a movie, play a game, have a few drinks and chill. Like, we're getting to that time where we could kind of go out, chill, and do things like on the weekend and shit like that is fun, but things get expensive too. So it's always nice to kind of parlay here on the fucking couch and just
Parlay.
yeah,
Hey, man.
yeah. So we just enjoyed, all the work that we did and
Dude, you guys.
lazy
Yeah,
some games.
the house looks
Huh?
great. The house looks great.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, dude, I was amazed by that. Little depressed and amazed at the same time
By what?
that I wasn't there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Sure,
anytime.
one day it'll happen.
Anytime. I mean, you could say, "Hey, tomorrow I'm going to be in Pennsylvania. I'm coming to see you." Okay, cool.
Dave, you should move to Delaware.
You should move to New York.
You should move to Harrisburg.
I don't know. Well, JD, mine weekend was similar. I didn't really do much. Just try to do some things around the house. We went to Five Points Fest Saturday. I got there a little late. So the
Yeah,
guys,
you did.
the guys were ready to go pretty much by the time I got there.
The line was wrapped around the building.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid because I remember that from last year. And I was like, so no point in getting there like early just to fucking
Yeah,
shit.
it went fast. I would say.
So but it was cool. Like I enjoyed it again. Like I think like a couple of you other guys, like I'm not into like a lot of that stuff that's there, but it's a lot of cool things to see. Just because it is so different and it's not that typical kind of convention that you're used to, where it's big, multimedia focused. This one's kind of like for the for the artist, by the artist. So for anybody that's into that stuff, that shit is like a heaven, like a gold mine. The 1,000 Toys thing booth is probably like the closest you'll get to any kind of like regular like action figure like vendor there.
Right.
And their stuff is pricey, you know what I'm saying? But it's good stuff. If anybody's, like JD, you got the synthetic humans. That's basically the base for most of their figures and stuff. So
Yeah, I was kind of upset we didn't get to make it out there, but so I wanted to at least visit their booth. But
yeah, it's just basically the displays that they had up. So it's nothing like, it wasn't anything crazy or elaborate. Just basically just having some of the figures on the shelf, kind of like the way Dave has his setup there, except it's just one case instead of multiple DTOFs. So but the show was nice, and then Sunday just kicked it back, laid up, chilled. Like I said, I always like to relax on the weekends because work is so crazy. So we got to relax last week, no show, you know what I'm saying? We were able to recharge our batteries and stuff. So we are back. So let's get some discussion. Yeah, that's why the episode is named I Need a Nap. All right, guys. So I threw out a little thing earlier in the chat. I kind of wanted you guys to think back to like maybe a time when collecting didn't have like such a priority like in your life. Just basically want to know like if there was ever a time like that for you, and if so, what was going on at the time that you put collecting on the back burner?
Girls, and girls are what I adore.
That's usually what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
One way or another, it could be that for sure.
Yeah, I didn't collect in high school. Like high school for me was more, sports, athletics, friends, girls, and going into college it was kind of the same. I didn't start collecting again, or or looking at toys. It was like probably my senior year in college when I was when it was basically leaving, and I started I took on a job because I didn't have football, so I took on a job, and I was getting some extra money in my pocket. So at the end of the day, if it was going for beer or whatever the case may be, I would just walk into a store or a Toys R Us or whatever and buy some stuff.
Now, real quick on that, Dom, were there any other outside factors to why you weren't collecting?
High school was more like, so I was so busy with like just hanging out with friends, going to this party, that party, and it wasn't, I was living life,
Gary's like Dom at parties.
Why? He doesn't like me at parties? I don't think I went to parties. You know what? Fuck
I didn't
you,
say
Gary.
anything.
Fuck you.
I
You
didn't say
wish you
anything.
had my high school life, you motherfucker. Don't be jealous, child. Don't be jealous.
Dom was the jock, the fucking.
Yeah, I was the jock. Yeah, I was the quite silent jock. I wasn't anyone that basically. Yeah, I was football. Basically football. Yeah, you saw my name in the newspaper. People come up and talk to me. Things like that.
He was he was Flash Thompson to Gary's Peter Parker, right? That's
All right, Al Bundy, keep reliving the football days.
Yeah.
Three touchdowns in one game. That's things like that.
It was 4 touchdowns to one game.
All short team, all state, stuff like that.
That chick's left and right on your jock. Left.
I wasn't in the boiler room smoking with the janitor. You know that?
No, you were busy chasing guys around in tights.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't play wrestling. I wasn't a wrestler. I wasn't a wrestler.
You had the head cheerleader and everything.
I drew a line. I drew a line. But yeah. I was just. I really. I would say probably when it was in college, when after football wasn't even like a thing. Like I wasn't playing football. I kind of fell out of love with football in college because thanks to my fucking offensive coordinator, my coach, he's just a complete prick. And then it was more of a business, instead of actually going out and having fun and playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it's constant like yelling and what the fuck are you doing? You missed this block, you missed that block, and I know you got that touchdown, but you missed this block. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, Don, you're a tight end.
I was a tight end, yes.
See,
I was a tight end.
you gotta seal. You gotta seal the corner there.
See the corners, buddy. You gotta seal the corners.
Those tight end blocks on the corners are key for breaking those long runs downfield around the edge. Yeah, I would yell at you too. What the fuck?
I feel like I'm in the old films, you know. But it was I think at that time when I had extra time on my hands, I was able to, I was always looking to see when I went to go like Toys R Us, I'll go take a gander through, and I saw some old stuff. I would see the Transformers that were out which I think at the time was Beast Wars, and then a lot of the other stuff was popping up, and I was that guy that my Optimus is not a gorilla, he's a truck.
Yeah. So just basically at that time, like window shopping more than anything.
More than anything, and then I pick up a thing here and there. Like I got some alternators back in the day, fucked around with them, but like other than that, nothing too serious until I just had some extra money in my pocket, and I started looking on eBay, and it just became a thing that I just I want to go and get some of my old Transformers back, and that's kind of how it started.
Okay. So since then, like any lulls that you could speak of, like after like getting back?
Not really.
Whatever. No?
Not really. Like I've been collecting ever since then, and there was a time when my dad yelled at me, saying, "What the fuck you doing? You're supposed to have I know what
Miss this block, you miss that block."
Yeah, no. He didn't yell at me. My dad was not a sports guy, so he fucking just yelled at me because at the end of the day I was spending all my money on toys and not saving it up in a nice bank account or savings account, whatever you put your money in a bank. And I got really upset, and I actually thought that he would he was serious, that he was kind of right. And so at that time I sold my collection that I had and got pretty much all my money back, and then I 2 months later I regretted it and I bought everything back.
Wow.
Pretty
At
much.
least you came to your senses.
Yeah, GD. I think you would be proud of me at that moment.
Yeah. How was that time like when you didn't have the collection, when you kind of caved in and sold it? Is you said it wasn't long before you bought everything back, so obviously you must have been feeling that to not.
The funny thing is that I had some good stuff, and I'm and I don't know why I then once it was gone, I was like, fuck. And I was talking to that's when I started going to conventions. I started going to BotCon, and then I was like, what the fuck, why did I sell it all? I should fucking buy it back. And I'm just like, you know what, I don't give a shit. And then by looking at my dad, and I'm like, that motherfucker just bought a $40,000 car, and I'm like, you know what, I'm fucking buying my toys.
Yeah. It's something that you enjoy. Like if it would be like if you bought movies or were into books or shit like that.
It actually was my mom who kind of put it in perspective. He's like, that's what I used the car thing because that's what she told me. He's like, don't listen to your dad. He bought a $40,000 car that he liked, that he wants. So at the end of the day, buy what you want. And he said, go fuck him. You know what, Mom? You're right.
That is nice, man, when you could get the blessing of a parent or whatever, because a lot of the times I think, especially when it comes to a hobby like this, it can be seen as frivolous spending. Like what are you doing? I know my dad back in the day was real old school, and he felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? He just thinks these are overpriced pieces of plastic. We're paying $100 for something that is probably 5 or 10 cents worth of plastic. Is I think what his words would be. So it's nice. It's just that's do what you want.
Yeah, my dad just had that mentality. He saved all his life, so he was that type of guy. You spend $1, put $2 in the bank, kind of thing. Yeah. So
which
he was just he was concerned, especially with me when I was growing up. At that early stage, you're getting a bunch of, you're getting your first your first paycheck, and you're making good money. I'm sorry, a flock of geese are flying through. They don't got Philly cheesesteak stuff. What the fuck? Gary, you got planes, I got geese. But yeah, like it's just, you know, he just didn't want me to get carried away, which I did. Like, you know, it was over, like, you know, when you get those paychecks that first time and you're making some good money, you're like what am I doing with it? I got all this money, and you know, you just kind of like, you know, find reasons to spend it, and you're not really thinking about saving. You're like 22 years old, 23, and you're like, what the fuck am I? Why do I need to save for? Like, I'll be working until I'm 60.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's interesting. All right.
But yeah, that, like, my only cold spray was like in the beginning. Like, I collected toys. Like, I as a kid, I collected a lot of things. Then come like, you know, 8th grade to like high school, I kind of dropped off and grabbing whatever the coolest thing is. I think the last thing I ever collected was like Turtles back in the 90s, like when Turtles was like really popular, and I was collecting that whole line and getting everything, and eventually, like, you know, they went to my younger cousin, and I just basically gave him all my toys.
Yeah, that is interesting though, because that is interesting to think about, like, as a kid, because this stuff kind of like eventually dried up, the Transformers stuff. But then they did have all the other things out there, like Turtles. Turtles was really blowing up at that time, right? Like 89, 90.
Yeah, 90, 92. Yeah, like I kept going through with it, and I try and grabbing everything I can, and, you know, picking up. And me and my friends were all big Turtle fans. The movie came out. And,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I remember they had the stage show at Radio City, like, you know, like, it was so crazy, like how popular like that was.
Didn't they have like weren't they giving away like tapes or something, like at Burger King or some shit? I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
VHS tapes.
mm-hmm.
Something I remember.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Pizza Hut. That's what it was.
Pizza Hut.
There was like an audio.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Perfect time. That's the
Yeah,
perfect.
like it was like, and then, you know, it was 4 of us, so it all made sense. You know, we all had our turtles, you know, that we acted out as. So it was all. I was Leonardo, just to let you guys know. You know?
Leonardo leads.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Nah, you're more like Michelangelo in your adult years, right?
Pretty much. Yeah,
He's
I'm
a party
fucking
dude.
Screw. I'm a screw off. I'll never take anything serious.
Obviously. Anybody else remember, like, having a kind of prioritize maybe other aspects of life besides the collecting for any particular reason, good or bad?
I'll say that. Let's see. I never. Blah, blah, blah. How do I want to play? I don't want to say this. So, I guess once like high school hit, like Dom said, you know, I still had like some toys in my house, so I would whip them out every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I remember. I remember when G2 hit. I definitely went and picked up a G2 Prime. Is 93, if I remember correctly, and I think when I would come home from college, I think one summer I went and bought some Power of the Force figures. I think that's around that time frame, and I still have those today. And so funny story. I remember I put them on this hutch in my bedroom, and I was like, these are gonna get dusty. I should do something to make them look nice. I built a frame out of plastic straws, and I wrapped it in saran wrap, and like put it like a big saran wrap box on top of the figures. And I'm making this thing, and in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be great, blah blah blah. And then I was like, and you can't even see through the saran wrap; it's like all blurry and shit. It was the stupidest thing. That's how I was thinking.
You get an A for effort,
Yeah,
Brian.
yes, that was fun. But you know, after college, you know, I did discover eBay, and I would buy an Optimus every once in a while. But I really spent, you know, I'd say 1999 to 2012 just spending my money at the bar for the most part. So no room for collecting then. Those are I'll call that the pre-Hercules Brink era. So, and then there's the after Hercules era, which has turned into this craziness.
Before Hercules, after
Yes.
Hercules.
It's basically what it is.
Hercules.
But I always collected primes even through that bar era. I would always go out and what's the new prime? All right, go get one. Go get two. Whatever. And Dom, like you said too, monkey truck, not monkey. Like I remember searching on eBay. I'm like, dude, he was a lion. He was a mammoth. I need this stuff.
So you were into any version that he was. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then, I've even put these shelves up, and I'm like, I don't even feel like digging that shit out. I don't want that stuff. You know what? Maybe that's what goes on the table in August. We'll see. How do I care about that stuff?
Yeah, those figures actually were like my first imports ever. That the Leo Convoy, that Lion Optimus Prime, and the and that Galvatron. And I didn't know what they were because I wasn't really watching at that time either. But I worked in the hobby shop then, and we were putting in orders in the previews, and I saw that, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, hadn't really been into Transformers for years, so it was just like, oh, okay. Like I was like, can you order this for me? Like I was like, whatever, I'll pay for it, because it wasn't something we would have ordered for the store, because this wasn't something that would have sold there, as far as we knew. But we ordered a couple, and yeah, it's just interesting. It's like that's something I'll be like, and then I remember when that shit came in, the Japanese packaging and everything.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
I was like, it says Cybertron on the box, like not Autobots, like it kind of, back then the internet wasn't, I didn't have access. That shit wasn't really available. So all that stuff is like, oh, what's this? This is different. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It was very interesting.
You did kind of trigger my memory, because I remember buying it, and you're right, like the boxes, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's got Optimus's head. I just know that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and then you start going, you find these like one-off pages. These people would make their own web pages back then, right? And you'd read, like, someone wrote this all up for me to read, kind of shit. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's I forget that. That was a very interesting time.
Yep. It's different compared to the way it is now, where you just have information at your fingertips. So back then it was just a whole different story.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, like nowadays, like everything's at your fingertips here. It's like I don't know it, and I don't feel like knowing it right now, because I know that in a matter of seconds I can go find out exactly what it is that I need to know later on. So I'm not even going to bother figuring it out now. It's an interesting life, interesting time we live in.
Yep.
Brian, you would be very proud of me. My first eBay purchase was an Optimus Prime.
So was mine, Dom.
Yeah.
Actually, I will say it was my first eBay search.
Yeah, me too.
I was at work and people were talking about eBay. I'm like, eBay, what's that? And I typed it up and it's like search. I was like, the hell would I search for? Oh yeah, Optimus Prime.
I think it was my first eBay purchase too.
Nice.
Optimus Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all Optimus Prime eBay first purchase brothers. How about you, JD? First purchase Optimus Prime off
No.
eBay?
It was okay, yes. Yes, Optimus
Lie,
Prime.
JD, lie.
No, my first eBay purchase was what was it, the Generations Sideswipe?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that and Starscream.
JD discovered eBay in 2010?
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
That shit was 2012 for me, I think.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember doing money orders and shit.
Yeah, money orders back in the day when eBay was like fucking wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Mine, it wasn't a Transformer, but it was like robot related. I had wanted this video game, PS2. It was called Rad, Robot Alchemic Drive. So, so it was dope because it's like giant robots fighting monsters in the city, but you control the robots like with a remote control. So you saw everything from the perspective of the human. So if you were on the ground, you're looking up at these giant things fighting and smashing through buildings, and it was all 3D. And the control layout was also very interesting because you would control the arms with the sticks. And you moved forwards and backwards with the like R1, L1, and then the L2, R2 is like how you control the leg. So it was awesome. But that was like early days of internet for me. So like I didn't have I don't even think I had a credit card then. So I remember like getting one of the nurses like to like buy it for me, and then I just paid her. You know?
Mhm.
And then I was like, that's what like really set me off. I was like, yo, you could find anything you want here on eBay, and then that just kind of opened the floodgates. You know, that's funny little sidetrack. Were you done with the lull, or
Are you talking to me?
yeah?
Yeah, I guess that was it.
Yeah.
Talking to me.
I think I was in
Talking
a
to me.
lull like in February of this year, but that's about it. Oh, just kidding.
Well, what about you, Dave? You look like you were about to chime in before Brian said something.
Oh, I did. No, I'm just kidding.
boys for Dave.
I could think of a few times that, well, see, like, I'm not gonna go into my history of my high school or any of that, but in my adulthood,
It's nothing special.
when I first started collecting, right? So I first started collecting. I think it was like Gentle Giant statues. This was one of the first thing I started like getting back into, aside from like Hasbro shit that was coming out.
Mhm.
And
What is that though? I know Gentle Giant.
like this, I'll give you an example.
That was his boy. That's what he called his.
like
that's
Gentle
what he called
Giant
his
maquettes.
boyfriend.
So this is like one of them like that I had.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
So
Wow, Dave started with statue life.
I did.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so this is back when I was with somebody else, so my ex-wife at the time, and we got married in 2009, we got divorced in 2011. So during that 2009 to 2011, I was buying shit, and I was having it at the house. I was able to keep just certain shit out, you know what I mean? Like on my dresser, I had like 2 Gentle Giant statues on my dresser. So I wasn't really like huge nerd life then, but
She used to she used to give you shit about it.
not so much, just more like didn't want it all over the house type of shit.
Yeah,
but it was my first time actually putting something out. You know what I mean? Like, and then when we got divorced, I had to move back to my parents' house, and I had to move back into the basement. So during that period, I didn't have, it sounds kind of depressing and shit, but believe me, I'm fine now. But I didn't have a fucking bed and have a TV. I didn't have, my brother had taken over my old bed, my old bedroom. My father took his room as his office. So I was sleeping on a sofa bed in the in the basement and watching TV with my parents because I didn't have cable in the basement. So I knew I needed that shit. And, I was still going through the divorce. I didn't know if I was going to get anything out of it, which I ultimately didn't. At the end of it, I wound up getting like $5,000. And I just got married. So you got to remember, like, everything that I had been saving up to that point, I had some money in the bank, but, we just spent $45,000 on that wedding. That was gone. The fucking whatever money we had left after we bought all new furniture before we got divorced, she kept. And I wound up getting like $5,000 out of it. So with that $5,000, I wound up having to buy that TV and the fucking bed. So I wasn't really purchasing things. But once I got that bed and TV in that room, and I established more as like a bedroom, that's when I started with the eBay shit. That's when I started collecting my like Masterpiece Transformers for the first time. Because before that I was getting like the classic stuff in Toys R Us, or like the reissued stuff, the G1 reissue stuff.
Yeah, the commemorative issues
like
series.
Dom said, alternator shit like that. Like I had all that shit, and it wasn't until like actually like probably another, like I buy things here and there, but it wasn't until like 2014 where, like, because in the interim I had met Lauren, got engaged again, so I had to save up for another fucking engagement ring. I had to save up for another wedding, then the fucking house. You know what I mean? So in those lulls, I was doing adult-ish things. I wasn't really collecting. I would buy things from time to time just to keep me entertained, but it wasn't like today where I got to keep track of my pre-orders, because if not, I may not be able to pay my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that was definitely a lull for me, I would say. I think it's always been something big, like, in the way in order for me to have to quit. Even when Chloe was coming, I didn't stop. You know, it was like,
Yeah. Well, it's a little different because you're basically like you're settled. And the experiences you just described, I mean, yeah, like that's major shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Going through a divorce and basically like a move. You know what I'm saying? So that's your life is in flux at that point in time. So yeah, that should just be obvious that collecting is just not gonna be taking any type of like priority. But it even sounds like when you were with your ex, you said you were buying like those statues, but it wasn't like the way it is now, right? Like where you were just getting like tons of stuff.
nah,
Nothing like that.
I wanted to, because I was at a different time in there's a different period of my life where like I was doing pretty well, like financially, like, you know, better than I am today, believe it or not. You know, with, you know, little side things, little side hustles and shit. And I was spending my money on other things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she wasn't really feeling me buying the nerd shit, but it was okay for me to buy a pair of sneakers or buy jewelry or buy, you know, I've always been into watches, so I've always had like a few designer watches around the house and shit. So I was okay doing that because she was fine with that. So I was kind of spending my money on different things at the time. Whereas today I'm not as materialistic as I used to be when it comes to that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do still enjoy it. I like it. I like looking nice and buying nice clothes, but I like my figures more than I do that. So, like, you know, these days I'd rather buy a Hot Toys than buy a new pair of shoes. I've been rocking the same 2 pairs of shoes and just keep taking them to the shoe guy to shine them up. So pretty soon I ain't gonna have no more heels. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get some shoes. But you know, I got fucking holes in my pants. I got to get them sewn up and buttons falling off your button downs at work. I think I was telling Dom, I was telling you that this weekend, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I gotta fucking slow down with the buying toy shit. I gotta up my fucking my clothing again. You know, I gotta get another fucking a few more things going at least. So
you got to get a new suspension put in your car,
dude. I can tell you right now, Kohl's clearance shopping is wonderful.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's always like,
Kohl's is no more. Kohl's is gone. At least over here.
Oh no,
Yeah, well, by us,
got 'em
it's
over
all
here.
place, yeah.
That's
You can get like everything for $2 at Kohl's clearance shopping, dude.
That's
well,
funny.
Dave, you come visit, we'll go. We'll go.
You just have to catch the off seasons. Like you got to in the winter, you got to shop for this. You know, you got to when the winter is over, you go shop for winter clothes, and then when the summer's over,
I was never that crazy with that. I always go to Century 21 or Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and you know what I mean, to get that shit. But
Kohl's is the same thing as those places. They just pretend to be upscale. You know.
Yeah.
Dom, JD,
What's up, buddy?
I got questions for you. So Dom, you have to wear shit like this, right, to work? I expect.
Yeah.
How many times have you come across people who own the same shirt that you have, or be exactly wearing the same shirt that you are wearing?
That shit happened to me yesterday, Brian. Yo, my boy at work. So this is my boy since we're kids. So I know he's 3 years younger than me, but I know him since he's 8. So I know him my whole life. We came in yesterday with both burgundy button downs on, and green pants and brown shoes and a brown belt.
But
and
the
I'm
same
just like,
exact,
I walked through the
shirt.
Yeah, no, well,
like naked and everything.
Not the exact same shirt, but the same fucking
same
color.
Colors. Yeah, I got
same
you.
color. So he was already sitting down when I walked in. He's the first face you see when you open the door. I did like a fucking 360, walked out the door, and I'm like, I'm going home.
Dude,
I was like, fuck, I had to punch in. So I was like, nah, you know what? Let me just fucking sit down. Within, I don't know, a half hour, we heard it about 4 times. Oh, did you guys plan that? Oh, how cute! You guys match. Like, shut the fuck up.
in my old job, it would always happen, you know, at least, you know, every couple of months. You would get on the elevator and some dudes are in the same exact shirt you wear, the same one. And I was like, dude, Kohl's? He's like, I don't know. My wife buys my clothes for me.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, Brian, because there was one time I shopped at like when Costco opened up over here. I bought a bunch of Costco button-down shirts because they were fairly cheap, and I needed a couple button-downs, you know. And all of a sudden, like my coworker, like shows up, and he has the same fucking like Costco. It's I forgot what's the make of them, what they carry, but like the same fucking shirt, and I'm like,
Like Charter Club or something, right?
yeah, and I'm like Costco. He's like, hell yeah. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I guess I can't shop there anymore.
You know what's funny is
He was an older gentleman too. Like he was in his in his 60s, so it's like like Costco. He's like, yeah, boy.
it's funny is one time I called Dom and I creeped him out, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Stop
Yeah.
shopping for toys. Get off your computer. He goes, how do you know that? I go, I even know what shirt you're wearing. And he goes, what? I go, you're wearing a blue button down.
Yeah, blue button down. Yeah.
How the fuck do you know that?
Like
What?
90% of the time, I'm wearing a blue button down.
Oh, it's either white or blue, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like light blue or dark blue or any type of blue stripes or blue vertical stripes, all that, or checker box, whatever blue.
mhm.
It's pretty much
I don't
blue.
really,
The
I
king
don't
of
really into that though. Like people wearing the same shit. If anything, it might be shorts.
Dude, I have like a 7, maybe 8 button down rotation. Yeah.
same here.
I have like I rotate like it's funny because it's like people see me like wear the same shit every week. Like it's like it's just I clean my shit. My wife does laundry like every fucking second, dude. It's like it's annoying.
People get mad at you if you wear a different shirt on like a different day. It's like,
Dude,
Dom, I thought it's
the-
fucking Thursday. Why are you
the
wearing
amount-
a Wednesday shirt?
The amount of times my wife does laundry, I can wear the same if I wear a shirt Monday, I can wear the same shirt Thursday. Yeah. Thursday, Wednesday. Like she just if there's any like it's like if she sees the laundry bags at full, she's doing a load.
Oh, you taught her well.
No, dude, that's her. Like and like it's gotten to the point where like she'll wash my jeans and I'm like, no, don't touch those fucking jeans.
Water
she-
bill must be
I-
up.
Because she just like
Thinking for food?
I like my jeans to be soft and worn and like every time she washes them they're crispy and tight and
Yeah, you could rock your jeans, a couple of, as long as you're not like
Dude.
sweating heavy, you could rock them a couple of times.
yeah, like if I'm not running a marathon in my jeans.
You know what I'm saying?
I wash my jeans at least once every 6 months.
Yeah, like at least like once every 2 months I wash my jeans.
Brian, you're joking, right?
Of course.
No, dude, I don't wash my
I would
jeans.
say every other month I wash them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, you said every 6 months. I'm
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
there's one in particular that's a 6-monther.
all those times you're farting in those jeans, some of that remnants is staying on that fucking.
Dude, it's going. I fart really bad that it goes to my underwear. What? Come on.
Especially like the swampy ones. Like, ooh.
If I'm cowboying it, I can understand. But like
Weekly
I
long.
got Fruit of the Looms on, man. They're powerful shit. It's a barrier.
I don't want to know what color your Fruit of the Looms are, bro.
I have all multicolors. The multicolors is shit.
Or with a fucking brown shit stain coming down the fucking middle of it.
The dryer sheet he sticks in the back.
When you have brown underwear,
Helps
Dave, you
with that.
can't see the brown stains.
But
That's the trick, my friend. That's the trick when you start. I
you could
don't even wear white underwear anymore. It's all colorful.
It's all color.
Gray, blue, red
Brown.
for you, Dave. Red for you.
Red for love. Power love. Oh shit. I had a question for you about the fucking what you said about your shirts, but it's gone now. So yeah, let's move
Wearing
on.
the same shirt. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
JD, did you have a lull with collecting? Like any point in time where you felt like you couldn't do it for one reason or another?
I collected since I was 3 years old.
And I never stopped.
No, I mean
No lulls for me.
there was probably whatever. My divorce. There was a short period of time there where I was afraid to even leave the house. So
Another one with the D word, man. That's why I never did it. Why go through it? Just don't do it. Don't do it, and you won't have to go through it.
Well, fucking Dave didn't learn his lesson.
I sure did, and I did it again, right?
wrong people, man. It's wrong people.
There's some kind of tax benefit I don't know about to that. Is that why people do it?
Laundry, man. My laundry gets done.
It gets done anyway.
It did. It did. It did.
But no, I probably went, maybe 6 months here and there where I wouldn't buy stuff. But it was pretty steady. Like I got back into the collecting like when the Spawn figures were coming out, the McFarlane. So I was like really deep into that, and then Power of the Force released. So then I was really into that.
Power of the Force.
And then there might have been a little lull there. I don't know. Occasional like an anime character or something, you know what I mean? I have some old Fist of the North Star toys that came out around then.
Any reasons like why though that you could remember? Like any reasons in particular to like why it just didn't happen, or was it just like just not interested?
I mean, I probably would have spent more money if I would have known about the internet and eBay and all that.
When you're just stuck with the stores that you got,
Yeah.
the variety is not there. Yeah.
So there's, at the least I'd take like a month, like once a month I'd take a trip to Toys R Us or something every other month.
The internet.
I sang that at my 6th grade graduation. I know that whole shit too.
Our Dave was "Wind Beneath My Wings."
Really?
It's 8th grade. They fucking made us sing that shit.
Oh man, from that movie Beaches, right? Yeah, Beaches. Yeah, that was that shit used to get ran back in the day. Oh man,
Mine was
I don't either.
a country song or some shit. The school we went to was like out in the middle of nowhere. So it would have been like some country.
This is Cotton Eye Joe.
It was a long time ago. It was a while. It was a while ago. Yeah, same thing though. Like, it's always like usual, like real life stuff that's going on, which would be like the catalyst for that. Like, I kind of had like little lulls, like from. When I had the easy access working like in the hobby shop, so it's there. So it's just like, okay, it's there. It's easy. You could just, you buy what you want. It was always action figures like that one in particular that always kind of got the short end of the stick whenever the lulls did happen. Cause like I remember like kind of always being like a video game collector. So, if the latest PlayStation or whatever always had the system, the Xbox. Never took a break like when it came to that. Comic books for a while did get put on the back burner, like, but I still kind of kept up just because I used to work in the hobby shop, so it was easy access. Once I started working, a lot of the mom and pop shops around me closed down, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. The business just wasn't sustainable at the time, so you just had the major shops like in the city, which I didn't really head to the city much, when everybody's just hanging out and chilling in the Bronx. So those trips were few and far in between. So, comics took a lull, action figures took a lull. So like, what you joked about earlier, Dom, it's like, that's what you say. Like, it's funny, like girls.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, when you're just kind of being a little geek and you're doing that and that's what you're into. But then when you kind of get exposed to all this other stuff as you got older, and then, I moved out of the house and living with my roommate, 2003, we were doing fucking parties in our fucking crib every weekend. Yeah. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we called them gatherings, what I'm saying? And off the wall shit used to fucking happen. What I'm saying? So definitely that was a time when fucking toys were not even fucking at the forefront of my brain. You know what I'm saying? So
you had other things to play with.
Exactly.
My action figure right here, buddy.
So like just times like that, like when things like that were going on, it's like, it just wasn't a priority, and then kind of like you mentioned, JD, you kind of hit up a Toys R Us, what I'm saying? Because that's something you would do occasionally, and you see something and you're like, oh shit, what I'm saying? And like I remember seeing, I think the MPO one, was it 2003 that thing first came out?
2004
2004,
3
2000,
or 4, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or
somewhere
4.
around
Yeah.
there.
It was like
The
20th.
20th anniversary one came
Yep.
out in like
Yeah, so
2003, 4.
yeah, so I that's probably what it was. That was the big one for me, because it had been a while since I had bought anything, maybe since like '99, like as far as Transformers wise. So it was like, oh shit, like look at this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's Optimus Prime as I remember it, for the time that was the greatest looking thing ever. So picked that up and then kind of got back into it a little bit. But now like with just kind of like the being on Instagram and Facebook and kind of like the blowing up of social media where you see everybody else kind of into the same thing you are. Again, back in the day, didn't have a lot of access to the internet. Like it's out there, but I just didn't have the access. So didn't know about an eBay or these other places where you could just be like, oh, I could get this, I could get that. Forget it. After I discovered Amazon, like in 2006 or 2007, it was fucking rap. So yeah, so it's usually like stuff like that, and the big life events like what Dave mentioned earlier. When you go through things like that, like a breakup or things of the like, sometimes like life hits you hard, it throws you a curveball, and you basically got to do what you got to do to get through. So, this stuff, as important as it is to me, and as I'm sure it is to all of us, times like that we could all recognize when it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll always be there, but take care of yourself and do what you need to do. So
True that.
100%, bro.
yeah. Thankfully, it seems like it feels like this has been like the longest sustained period, maybe from like 2011 to 2012, like to now, like straight, like nonstop, like collecting though, like, and even where it's been amped up to like another level. Like, has that been the same for you guys, like in recent years, where you just seen the collection just take like a major leap compared to
when I fucking met the Rama collector.
Yeah, really.
It's almost like, exactly, Dave. It's almost like you get into this community. It's like, you know what? It's okay to do this.
Yeah, it's all
'cause
right.
even before, it's like I was always a little timid. Like when I bought that Hercules, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Even every once in a while, when I'd buy an Optimus, I'm like, "Well, it's my thing. It's what I do. No one needs to know. It's just."
Mhm.
But it's like then you're like, dude, it really is enablement. It really is enablement. It's like, wow, everyone's doing it. Everything fine. Buy all the toys you want. Whatever. Look at the goddamn room. What the fuck's the matter with me?
Right?
Where it kind of took off for me is when I started going outside of Transformers. That's when, like, it was just Transformers for me, and then when Black Series came out, I just started buying Black Series, and then I'm like, Marvel Legends, what is this? And then like, luckily, at a time when Marvel Legends, when Hasbro, like I know Hasbro did the card backs, but then when they finally started doing the box sets, those boxes, that's when I got into it, and I really didn't go back to get the card sets. There were some of them that I went back to get the card sets, but I've been just collecting the boxes ever since, and then it just basically grew from there. And then as BotCon ended, then that's when I'm like, I didn't have all the money that I spent on BotCon, like I used to spend. Now I'm spending on other things that I typically wouldn't spend on. So outside of Transformers, because now Transformers is slowing down. Like, it wasn't like what it used to be when the movie came out and all the Transformers shit was going on, and you got Masterpiece, you got Chug going on, you got the movie shit going on. You got fucking Rescue Bots going on. It's like fucking everything. So it was back in the day, Transformers could have just kept hold you down for a while.
I started off the same way, Dom. Just like I used to buy some Star Wars here and there over the years, like again, like 3-inch Hasbro or whatever.
Yeah.
But wasn't until I met these guys where like Ed likes it. Well, Dust likes to say, you felt like an alien, and now you found that you weren't alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what Facebook. That's what the internet does.
Fuck the internet. I didn't need the internet. All right. So I had a lot of these guys on Instagram, right?
What the fuck is Instagram?
But that wouldn't have that
Internet.
wasn't what drew me in. What drew me in was when I came to meet them and figured out, all right, these guys are cool. And then we talked more often. And then it's like, all right, what did you buy? Oh, okay, I want that too. And
I love it. I love how you said it, like, "Oh, these guys are cool," when it's really like, "Oh, there's losers just like me."
no, I never said that.
Nah,
but
I'm
you
just joking. I'm just joking with you, buddy.
No, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. I mean, like even with like now with the displays, like like I had to go try to do a display because I saw somebody else put one I liked. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like it's constantly evolving. You know what I mean? Like everything. Like I went from 3-inch to 6-inch to 12-inch Star Wars figures. You know what I mean? What's next? Exactly.
You're growing, boy.
Scale? Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have a fucking life-size Ewok if it ever comes out somewhere.
Well,
in
you
the
got 2 quarter scales back there.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like like it's just constantly evolving. So
yeah, I'm glad it's been like a certain amount of time now, like that. I don't feel like that need to be like, okay, I gotta get this. I gotta be the first one to have this, first one to have that. Like I remember, because of like social media, like Instagram and shit like that. Like new figure came out, you wanted to have that. You wanted to be able to post a picture, that shit, make that shit look cool. And and if you were the first one, with a piece that was cool, you were getting a lot of likes and shit like that. And that did play a factor for like a certain like period of time. But then as of course with anything, time moves along and then you're just like, I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. And I'm glad it's like we're at a point now that you don't like or at least me personally, other people could feel different. I don't feel like I have to be like that, what I'm saying, anymore. I could just be like, this could come out, I could chill, I could wait, get it when I want. It's not about being the first one to get it so I could post a photo like on social media, because that did fuel that drive and that fever for the collecting in some part. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just that, I like this, I collect this, and I want it. It was just like, that the social media did drive that shit, because even just seeing other people's pics, you're like, oh, that's dope, I want it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's dope, I want it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like I feel like that's gone. That kind of fever is like been subsided. So you could even just be patience saves pockets, as we always say. So you don't always have to feel like you got to be the first one. But also like if you don't have those means, what I'm saying, like to get this, get that, you might be like, let me run this on the credit card. Let me run this on the credit card. Before you know it, pay off that PayPal credit before the interest kicks in.
I was out of work for 6 weeks, right? And I'm like, I'm good. I got money. I'm not gonna, whatever. I'm good.
Yeah.
Pre-order came up for this. Pre-order came up for that. Like within like those 6 weeks, I must have came out of pocket like, I don't know, about $1,000. And you feel it when you're not making money every day. You feel it more, and then like what Jose said with the credit card thing, I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna dip into my savings. Let me use my credit card. It's only $400. Then you leave that $400 turns into $3,000 within a few months. It's like fuck. Like what the fuck did I do? But Jose, I feel what you're saying, because I remember when I got into Instagram, and I, Energon Addict came to life. And I started fucking it's the truth, Dom. It's the truth. The birth. And it was just an Instagram name at the time. And I was starting to get figures, and I was getting everything that came out because I had nothing. So anything new that came out that was G1 Masterpiece-esque, I used to buy. And the first thing I wanted to do was take a snap of it, because I was one of 5 other people who was taking the picture. And that's how you would get, people to follow you, and you would get, likes and stuff like that. So you always wanted to get that new figure. Nowadays, I'm like, like Jose just said, it's not as important anymore. More so, it's like I'm not trying to fill gaps in as much as I used to. You know what I mean? Now I'm being more selective, and I can wait, and depending if I have the figure or not, I'm still going to wait for the best option. I'm just not going to jump on anything that comes out. So
just what you really enjoy, and not really to for any kind of to impress anybody, or just to be like, okay, or settling in a way.
Right.
hey, this is it. Like, you know, there's gonna be something else like in the pike, like coming
Yeah.
down. We're just smarter, like in that way.
Mhm.
Just now, you know, throughout all these years of knowing what this game's about, you know.
It's even like that Dom just brought me. He had an extra drift figure, the fucking Flames Toys
Toys,
Drift,
yeah.
and I never had that. Jose, you had that over a year ago, right?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
able to see TJ's. He let me hold it for a little
Yeah.
bit. Fucking awesome. Yeah.
Dom
And
had an extra Flame Toys drift.
Sorry, Dom, blew you up, but yeah, he had an extra one. So,
All I do is win when I get enough.
and look, and it's been out for what, over a year, almost 2 or something,
Yeah.
and that's just still amazed the fuck out of me when I got to fussing with it.
It's
you know,
beautiful. Yeah,
it's beautiful. So I mean, sometimes it's not so much about getting it first. It's just, getting what you really want.
And just hearing you and Jose, I'm actually glad that I stayed away from social media as much as I possibly could when collecting, because like when the way I found toys was like just scavenging, like going to conventions, seeing what's coming out, and I really didn't get like into social media to the point where I can see it could get kind of hectic and everybody posting shit up and
Yeah, dude.
I can see it getting dangerous, and a lot of the times sometimes decisions that you're making are not even your own decisions because you're just so caught up in I guess you can say hype, or just caught up in the machine that just basically is being pushed out at you. So
what's keeping you from it now? Because you buy a lot of shit, bro. Like,
I just buy shit. Like I just
yeah, but
buy
where
whatever I like.
are you looking at for that stuff? Like, you're hearing it from somewhere.
At the stores. Like every online vendor, I'll go see what they post up, and that's how I did it. Like, and that's how I do it now. Like, I watch YouTube, but like, I'm only watching YouTube to like mostly podcasts now. That like is just listening to podcasts and stuff. But like, when it comes to reviewing, I just sometimes when I see a toy that I like on a site, whether it's BBTS, whatever the case may be, and or just like I rarely go on the boards. Like I don't even look on the boards and what's going on and what things people are finding out that's coming up like 3 months down the road. Like, I'll hear it from you guys, or whatever the case may be. But back in the day, it was when it popped up on those sites, and I just like look at it. Whether I liked it or not, I'll buy it. If not, if I had any questions about it, like I'll wait until a couple reviews come out and just see whether it's a good quality toy or something that I would enjoy or like based on the review the guy did, and I'll buy it or not buy it off of that. But it's just here, like I could see, like, because now like I started getting into like I started buying sneakers a couple of years back and just trying to buy some Jordans that I never got in, like, when I was a kid, because my dad didn't believe spending $100 on sneakers. It's pay less for us. God damn it, $25. It's all you get.
Yeah.
Dude, don't worry, I was in the same boat,
dude. And then like, so basically, I was watching just sneaker videos, and people, this sneaker came out, I just grabbed it, and I just sometimes just watching like some YouTubers on sneakers, like it was just the hype on certain sneakers, and you just, I need to get it, and it's like some of the sneakers I purchased back in the beginning when I started just buying a couple sneakers, I bought it based on the hype, and I was like, what the fuck am I buying a sneaker for? Like, I don't even like it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was just caught up in the hype, and you start realizing as a collector, when you get into it, you're just saying to yourself, what do I like? What, you got to find your flavor. What's the thing that you're looking for out of your collecting? And it's sometimes it's in that early stage, you do sometimes get caught in that hype, and at the end of the day, you might realize that you made a purchase that you necessarily wouldn't make when you further down the road as a collector, and you're finding your tendencies and what your likes are and dislikes are. So.
Oh, that's definite, because I mean, think about the amount of shit that we've bought and sold within the past 5, 6, 7 years. Like my collection, like I had a bunch of Toy World shit. Now I'm like, what do I even own? That's Toy World, and I remember that was like the third party company I had a lot of shit from. And I just think back to like all the figures I used to have, like Dave. Like I remember selling you the Bad Cube, I think Sunstreaker, and the Unique Toys Running Man, the Blur. Like I had those at one point. I remember just
I
having so
I
much
flipped
bit.
those both already too.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like when I think about it, because then I think about the money spent, and then so it's just like, and then knowing like what I'm happy with now. I guess you just have to go through it.
You do. It's definitely a learning experience.
Remember when Jose went all in on Unrestable Bastards?
Yeah, he did.
Oh well, I still like those. I just sold a few of the extras I had, but I'm not getting rid of like the core like
But like
core bots I got.
but like Jose, I wouldn't even classify like you bought that Sunstreaker, right? You bought that Bagcube Sunstreaker. It was the best Sunstreaker on the market. Everyone bought it in regards to if you were collecting Masterpiece.
Mhm.
Then years later come by. Like I think if you sold that figure, I wouldn't say that's a hype buy. That's like that was a figure that everybody wanted. It came out. It checked everybody's box in regards to Sunstreaker. But then like eventually when the official came out with it, I wouldn't say that that was a hype figure to buy or you got caught in the hype buying that figure. It's just at the end of the day, I think you just traded up for the better figure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I sold it before, like way before, like the official Sunstreaker was announced. But yeah, something like that. Yeah, I really wouldn't classify that like as that.
Like I would.
You got good money for that shit, bro.
Yeah. I did. Thank you, and I didn't have to ship. I think you picked them up.
That's right, dude. You didn't even give him the fam bro price.
You gave him the fan bro
At the
choice.
time,
He got at the time. It was the fan
going
bro
for
price.
100, 120, and
Oh,
Jose
alright.
was given to me for retail. So,
Yeah.
but if you think about it now, what those things are going for, well, at least Sunstreaker, people like at NJCC were like $40 over here, 39 over here. Like,
I remember that thing was going for like 300 plus at one point.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if we could do a quick rapid fire. Do you have anything off the top of your head that was a hype buy? Realize you didn't really need.
Shit. I'm trying to think.
I know too right off the bat right now those fucking big ass that Megatron that I bought that the Megatron and Optimus. What was that? Mega
MAS?
the MAS. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was off a hype. Okay.
You're not
That-
digging?
I'm not. It's not that I'm digging them but I can see right now that I bought them because of the size and everybody. At the end of the day, they were great figures. Don't get me wrong; they're good figures. I'm not saying they aren't, but I'm just saying I just right now it's I can buy a quarter scale statue in that size and not have and not have that thing. But that's the thing. I just don't. I'm more now into 3A than those those figures. You know what I'm saying? I can buy a 3A G1 Optimus if they ever do one, and I'd rather buy that than what those Mastos were doing. But when are they going to do their Soundwave? Like they're fucking saying they were going to do their Soundwave for so long and they haven't done one.
Give me a fucking chance.
I would,
Brian.
off top of my head, fucking most of my hype buys are all like the Diaclone colored Autobots that I bought that they're cool looking. I kept them and I at the time I think it was just more of I needed it.
Mhm.
Not so much more that I thought they look cool. Now that's my reasoning for keeping them. But fucking that the Ultra Magnus Diaclone, right, was what $170 or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's,
And now you can get it for
don't
like
look at the price now.
$70 used.
How much?
$60 used.
Wow.
Something like that. I think that's what I'm going for.
Di-
I knew they were going
Diaclones-
for less.
Diaclone repaints were really hard because it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you were into that into that like the Diaclones when they were Transformers before they were Transformers.
Yeah.
I can understand you collecting that, and that's kind of why I collected it. But it's just that it does. I can see people buying those repaints and not even know what Diaclone was or whatever the case may be, and just because it looks cool at a different color.
I knew what it
different
was, but
colors
I
from-
wasn't buying it because of that.
Yeah,
Buying
because
it
of that.
because I thought it looked cool. Yeah.
Just look cool in the other color scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's striking.
Certain things, like certain of the way those Diaclone color bots, like they do look cool, but I think for the most part they just look too different to me from what I'm used to
Yeah.
with Transformers. So it's like, nah, it just doesn't sit right. I can't. Like, I'm like, he looks weird, and like Ultra Magnus looks weird in those colors. I'm like, I can't.
Dude, I know a collector that I ran into Bacon one time was a Diaclone. He loved Diaclone, and he was buying all the Masterpiece Diaclones, and he would manufacture the boxes, the Diaclone boxes. Like he would try to like replicate the Diaclone boxes and put his Masterpiece is in the Diaclone boxes.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
That's crazy stuff. Like, and he would just, and I think he was doing a lot of that like mash stuff. Like he was putting I forgot who the guy's name was, but he was putting like GI Joes with Transformers, and he was boxing them up as such. So he would have like Optimus Prime with what's the GI Joe guy, the head guy, Duke. Yeah. So like he would have Duke on the side packaging, and then like he would have Optimus in trailer, G1 Optimus in trailer, and put like a whole like mashup of like the Transformer G1 box and the GI Joe logo and stuff like that. He did really like wonderful stuff, and he used to sell it. He used to sell them at BotCon, and he made good money. But I never knew where he went. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but
that's cool. That's cool stuff.
Like he did Starscream and Cobra Commander. Like, so you have like a Cobra Commander like blister on the Starscream box, and then like he did like a whole mashup on the box and the styrofoam and everything.
JD, do you have one?
I was gonna say Mythic Legions. No,
Don't believe the hype.
Room of them.
Soul Chigokin Voltron.
Really?
Oh,
Hellboy.
The hype is fucking real. This shit is
dope.
dope. Fucking love it. I don't know.
Mortal Kombat.
No.
Mortal Kombat. So
These are great.
collectibles. Fuck them.
Fuck, I did have something in mind. I mean, the Pacific Rim figures, those were kind of hypish, but they're good figures.
Yeah, he said that too in the chat.
Yeah. But I you know, we still have them.
I still have them too.
Yeah. Me too. I still
they're
have
very
mine.
nice figures. I mean, if I had to pick one figure, it would be the Fansoys Hydra.
oh yeah.
They talked that shit up, and it's not engineered all that well, just because of its name, I guess. It gets a pass.
That can get you out of a jam, I heard.
Get what can get you out of jam?
Hail Hydra.
Oh,
Hydra.
Hydra.
So mine is Carnifex, MMC Carnifex.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
MMC Carnifex.
That's a great
Man, that is
that's the
a
thing, right?
beautiful figure.
Yeah. So as an example, I mean, it was extremely hyped up, but I didn't give a fuck about Overlord. Like, I read the comics, he was badass, blah blah blah, but it's like, but the hype was fucking real for that thing, and I was like, I have to own this. You know, I'm a Transformers collector. Everybody's raving about it. I gotta have it, and I got it, and I opened it, and yeah, it's great, but dude, he's back there somewhere on a bottom shelf. It's like he
didn't have the longevity for you. You know what I'm saying?
Fine, that's how I feel about Omega Supreme in a way. Like,
Oh, Fansoys Mega Supreme?
yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's done well. It looks like Omega Supreme. I'm not complaining.
But you don't give a fuck
Big
about
motherfucker, you can't put the thing anywhere. He's fucking sitting there like, I'm like, fuck that thing. Like, how much did that thing cost me? Fucking $300 something. Like,
Fuck you, Omega
even
Supreme.
fucking put you nowhere with your big ass fucking wingspan and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Go turn into a fucking racetrack and shut the fuck up or whatever. You know what I mean?
You couldn't even defend Crystal City, man. what was the city that he had to defend?
It was
Crystal
Crystal
City. It was Crystal City.
I hear that though, Brian, because I guess like maybe just for you didn't have any kind of like emotional resonance to the character, even after reading the IDW story, which that one is based off of. So yeah, that'll always kind of do it, you know, when you feel indifferent towards something, and so you're just kind of getting it just to get it. But it's not like Prime, right, where you know that's a character you basically love. So there's almost like a meaning behind when you like. I look around and I'm like, yeah, I got like just out in the open right now. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like 5 Prime figures just in, like my immediate view. You know,
Yeah, if like for instance the Magic Square Prime, which I'm looking at there, I could consider that a hype purchase, except that I am a Optimus collector, so therefore
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of doesn't apply to me. But it was super hyped, and for good reason. It is fantastic. But I could see people buying that as an impulse due to the hype that it received.
Brian, you're lucky in that way. You have a clause in your
Yeah.
contract. You know what I mean? Because it's all right if it's a piece of shit. It's time. I'm allowed to buy it.
Exactly. The scapegoat of sorts that helps me live with myself when I look at the sea of blue and red behind me. But I tell you, man, that mentality's got to stop, because I got to figure out something to do with these guys. And I'm resting my feet on 2 totes full of primes right now as well. So it's an issue.
Just imagine if you didn't have those primes and those toes, you wouldn't be resting your feet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be today. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I think recently, I mean, it was not recently, it's a couple of years at this point, but I went in real hard on like Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, just also the hype, just the Marvel movies, being a big fan of the MCU. And then I was seeing like, guys, again, that Instagram fever when you see guys like The Amazing and dudes like that, like taking these like incredible looking photos. I remember going like all in, just buying a whole shitload of Marvel Legends for like 3 months. Probably spent like hundreds of dollars just buying a bunch of them. And then, with the intent to like, take pictures, do group shots, do this and that. And I remember doing that for like a little bit. But then like that went away, and I was like, man, what the hell did I do? Like, I bought all these fucking figures. Like, I didn't need all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold a good majority of them. So it's just like that was just one of those things. Like, and I feel like, yeah, it's just caught up in the hype, because it wasn't something that I loved. It was just like I felt like I just did it because I caught the fever for a certain particular thing. But it didn't have the longevity for me to feel like I wanted to keep collecting those things.
Yeah.
So it's not like Transformers, where it's like, like I feel like a love for that, that was just like, what the fuck was I doing? I spent money. I fucked up. I didn't need to do it, So yeah, good question, dude. Good question. Let's wrap on that. We could continue, open it up with the ROC Hangout. Let the people out there watching join in on the conversation here with us. So with that, let's run it down the line real quick, get some where you at, and we'll get the Hangout started. Brian Brink, I'll start with you, brother.
You can find me, Brian Brink, in the Facebook groups, at Brinkalizer on Instagram, cruising down the highway in a awesome new suspension in my car.
The bushings.
And I believe stay tuned to tomorrow. Am I right, JD?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
It's one of those weeks.
One of those weeks.
Oh boy. All right, Dave.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and a John Addict, Dave Cologne in the Facebook groups here on Tuesdays. And I can't wait to see you guys this weekend. Anybody listening that's going to be where we are, can't wait to hang out. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dominic.
You can find me here Tuesday nights, and you can find me in the Facebook groups at Dominic Carasso. Yeah. Whatever Dave says. Any nickname that Dave says that you can find me. But yeah, and I'm going to be hanging out in Dave's parents' basement because it is awesome.
Awesome.
Interesting.
All right, JD.
It has a bed and TV already, so once I got that bed and TV set up, it's all
That's
game.
it. That's it. That's all you need. Some Wi-Fi.
You're number one in my book too, Dave.
All right, JD.
Did he freeze?
He sure did.
Oh.
He could hold that pose for that long. Hey, JD, hi.
There we go.
There he is. There he is.
Good?
There he is. Yeah, you're good. You're good, buddy. You
All
moved
right.
your head.
There we go.
Live.
Yeah, you can find me Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Every Tuesday with these beautiful fellas here. And tomorrow night, all new figure banging.
Figure.
9:30.
9:30.
Dude, Gary disappeared. Where's
Gary
Gary?
dropped out.
And
He's like,
thanks for everybody that voted.
Oh, for your
yesterday.
that was a great photo, JD.
And
Yeah, it was
thanks for all the love on Bobby's video, everybody.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Cribs.
I'm the one that gave a thumbs down, by the way.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just fucking with you, JD.
Oh,
And I signed on to my other 50 accounts and gave it a thumbs down.
there you go.
I got the bots. I got the bots working.
I commented on a bunch of because of course there's gonna be knuckleheads in there.
Oh yeah, there were a
One
few.
goes, "Why you need all this shit?" I'm like, "Here's a courtesy flush."
It's a collector now. Looks like he's a hoarder.
Uh-huh.
Fucking idiots,
Who
jealous,
said that?
Yeah.
jealous assholes, just commenters.
Just comments.
Just yeah.
Yeah, they still live in their mother's basement. So.
Yeah,
Yo, they only need a bed and the TV. I tell you, that's where it begins.
we
I kept it clean. I kept it classy. I just laughed,
yeah.
or I didn't acknowledge one or the other.
Ignore.
Good man. All right. As for myself, Harrigan.
Yo, JD. Sorry, Jose. I want to get this in. JD,
Uh-huh.
they hate
Yeah.
us because they ain't us. Okay.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Put that,
Sorry,
Fair
Jose.
enough.
I love using that.
put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt.
Tom
Dom.
is showing his age
Oh.
so frequently. This show, it's like
I'm showing my age. What the fuck? I'm old, Dave. What are you gonna do about it? I'm only 2 years older than you, motherfucker.
3,
3,
4,
and a half.
4.
And a half.
3.
to Tom, what's that phrase from? Was that your your high?
No, that's
school
from
senior?
no. That was from the interview from what movie was that? Is the interview with Kim Jong Il, the whole spoof thing? You ever
Yeah.
watch that movie?
Interview.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No,
Oh, watch it, Brian. You'll love it.
I doubt it.
I missed that.
Come on, give
I
it a
missed that.
chance.
Does it have any tits in it? Brian, watch it then.
Wasn't that
Tiger-
the movie
there's a-
that ended up getting Sony hacked or some shit?
Yeah. It was the one that they didn't want to do it because it was offending him, but it's really funny.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. In that movie,
First time that was phrased, by the way, fucking Tom.
I know,
That
but
movie.
I watched that movie and that's where I heard it first. Okay,
That's like 20
that's my
years old,
G1,
bro.
Dave. That's my G1. Okay, don't tell me otherwise.
All right. I could just picture Tom standing up in his high school football locker room and be like, "They hate us because they ain't us."
No, my football was my
Mers.
in Pop Warner. It was no regrets, and that's basically it. We never kind of ever did a theme for a season.
We had one. We had one called. It was our final one. It was called "If You Don't Believe, You Don't Belong."
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
deep.
That's why you went 0-12,
When
but that's
Tom worked-
okay.
walked right out of the locker room.
That's when he went 0-8, but that's okay.
Try 11-0, Tom.
Listen, you need,
11-0. Oh,
you need to believe, bro. You need to believe.
all the believers out there.
Tom, shut up. Let Jose close out the show.
Listen,
Jose.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Harrigan BX on social media. Check out Crashbox Customs online. Realm of Collectors on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And check out the rest of the shows on the Cool Table. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.